Hello, and welcome to Social Workers Rise, where we inspire social workers to connect, expand their knowledge, and change more lives than they ever thought possible. We will talk everything social work on every level from micro to macro. We are going to hear stories of social workers who are doing big things, learn new skills, and most importantly, give you actionable steps to make a difference today. Let's go. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Social Workers Rise. It is your host, Catherine here. I'm so excited because I heard this update today on my way to the gym on the radio of all places, and I thought, what is this program? I need to learn more about this. My workout can be put on hold for a couple minutes because I need to research this thing ASAP. And this is a brand new program for those of you, if you have an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree in social work or social services or anything related, and you want to work with youth in California, listen up. If you know somebody like that, do them a favor and send this episode to them right now, because we want to get in early, and I'm giving you all the details that I know about this brand new program in California that I'm really excited for. And I don't even qualify, but I'm still excited because it can be a great opportunity for you. So yes, and by the way, I do know that I'm a nerd and I get excited about really weird things related to social work, which is why I have a whole social work podcast so that I can gush about these things to people like you who actually want to know about them, and not to people like my family who really don't care that much. So I'm glad that you're here with me. If you don't know who I am, my name is Catherine. I am an LCSW based out of California, and I've been social working since 2009. Currently, what I do, a lot of different things. So I offer private therapy. I do career coaching for social workers. I also do mental health speaking. I'm an author, and hence the podcast. I'm a podcaster as well. And this podcast has really turned into a career development type of podcast for social workers and those in the mental health community, because we talk about all of these different topics that are relevant to you in your career, advancing your career. I talk about money, talk about salary, talk about you being well and not getting burnt out. We do not need to be a martyr for social work. That is long gone, my friend. So just some updates, what I've been doing kind of behind the scenes. One, a lot of self-care. So if you ever wonder what a professional social worker does for their own self-care, I will tell you. I was thinking about this just today when I was at the gym. I'm like, man, I've been doing a lot of stuff, and I don't know if people really realize how much effort goes into taking care of your own mental health and your own mental well-being. So for example, just in the past couple days, for my own self-care, I went to the gym. I spent some time meditating, listening to music that makes me feel good, music that makes me relax. I prioritize sleep, prioritize drinking water. I also made time to go outside, go for a walk, make time to talk to friends, made time to watch a movie and have fun. And this was all just within the past 48 hours. So there's a lot that goes into self-care as a professional social worker. Just because you have your degree does not mean that you know all, that you can cope with all, and that you have all the skills, but you constantly need to be feeding into yourself as much or more than you are giving out to others. So with that said, I've also been doing some work behind the scenes, making plans for how to improve the course, the clinical essentials for the future therapist. Over 120 social workers have already joined this course. I know it's amazing, but I also know that there are ways to improve it and to make it better and to just add more to it so it's more of a value for you, your career, and your professional development skills. So that's happening behind the scenes. Stay tuned for that. I am preparing to relaunch this course in May. If you want to get it now, go ahead. You can get started in it. And some of the modules are actually going to go away. So if you wanted to get it now, you can access all of the modules right now. And then as I upload new modules or replacement modules, you will also have access to that as well. So if working on your clinical skills is something that you have been thinking about doing, now is going to be the perfect time, this little insider knowledge, but now it's going to be the perfect time to do that. Also, been doing a lot of work around the RISE directory. This is a directory for clinical supervisors. So if you are looking for a clinical supervisor to supervise you in your work, in your hours, go check out risedirectory.com, see who is in your state that can offer you supervision, and go ahead and reach out to them directly. If you are a supervisor offering these services, then make sure that you are signed up on the website. You can even create a free profile if you don't want to invest in this and you don't want to commit quite yet. So go check it out. There's free resources on there as well. Also, for clinical supervisors, we're hosting a empowerment workshop at the end of April. I will put the link in the show notes. And this is specifically for people who provide clinical supervision and you want to learn more about the empowerment model of clinical supervision. And this workshop is free to register. You can pay extra if you want those CEUs, but so many great things coming up. We have a trauma-informed supervision workshop coming up. So stay tuned. Get on the email list so that you have access to all of these updates, because this is where I regularly communicate with you and let you know what's happening. I send updates about the podcast. You definitely want to be on this email list. It will be the email that you actually want to open. So the link is there in the show notes as well. So with all of that out of the way, let's hop into the meat and potatoes of this podcast episode. So I heard about this on the radio, cruising into the gym, and this is called it's a certified wellness coach. And this is a program that is being launched in California in order to address the mental health crisis among youth. So, in case you don't know, nationwide, studies have shown that kids are just more anxious and depressed than they've ever been. They're feeling isolated and lonely. And with that, suicide rates are climbing. It is no different in California. So, in California specifically, over 284,000 youth cope with major depression. That's a lot of freaking kids who have major depression before they're even 18 years old. That's huge. 66 of those kids with depression do not receive treatment, which breaks my heart because I can't imagine how alone that they feel and how sad they feel on a daily basis before they even get out of high school. Additionally, suicide rates for kids ages 10 to 18 have increased 20% in 1 year between 2019 and 2020. Y'all, that's a lot of freaking kids. So there is a huge need for this all over the country, but specifically this episode is going to focus on California because this is what I'm familiar with and this is about the program that I'm teaching you about. So also, I do not know everything about this program. Everything that I'm giving you is available online and the links are in the show notes. So when you are ready to pursue more and to learn more and even apply for some of the scholarships, go to those links. Do not ask me. I likely do not know. If you need career coaching, that's where I can help you out with that, with resumes and with interview preps. I can definitely help you out with that. So what got me so excited about this program is that it's open to those of you with an associate's degree and with a bachelor's degree in social work. And not just social work, but closely related degrees, such as human services or addiction services, even psychology, sociology, kind of depending on which way you get into this program. But that's really cool because so many times people with bachelor's and associates, they feel really trapped and they're not really sure where they want to go or what options they even have, what good options they have to work with children. Because traditionally, you would have to have a master's degree and a PPS certification, pupil services, I forget what that stands for, but it's a special certification that you need to work as a school social worker in California. Other states have this special certification as well. So you had to get a lot of education before you could even step foot as a social worker in a school. But with this, it's really cool because as a certified wellness coach, you're essentially there to provide support to youth. And this is not limited to schools, but this looks like the way that it's going. It looks like this is the main point of the program, is to get wellness coaches into after school programs, working with youth so that you can just support them in not what they call non-clinical ways, right? That means that you're listening, that you're screening for warning signs, right? Like, oh, you might have depression, or maybe, you might be feeling suicidal, right? So screening for these high risk warning signs. You're forming relationships with them. You're able to see behavior changes in the students. You're able to see, oh, that student's kind of off by themselves and they're normally socializing. What's going on? So you're able to kind of be a bridge between the official school counselor and the teachers and the students. You're able to also create groups, create programs, destigmatize the mental health is a really big part of this. So right now, a lot of kids do not seek help, even though maybe they know they might need it, but they don't want to be judged. They don't want to be looked down upon by their peers or even by their family, because there's still a really major stigma of mental health in communities, especially Latino communities, Black communities. There's a really big stigma still. Additionally, you would be the person to provide them resources in the community. A lot of times kids just don't know where to go, right? You'd be the ones to be able to like, hey, maybe this program can help you. Or maybe you might want to talk to the counselor about that, right? You can help them with goal setting, provide them psychoeducation around healthy relationships, do some problem solving with them, and really hone in on those social and emotional skills, right? So you are that person that's able to form these relationships, listen to them, help them feel seen, and connect them to more deeper resources as needed, which is so, so powerful. So, with all that said, we're going to take a quick break for the ads, and then I'm going to come back with some questions that I have about this program that makes me kind of suspicious. Hey, it's Catherine here. I hope you are enjoying this episode. We're going to take a quick break to listen to these ads from our sponsors. Have your clients had a hard time finding a therapist through their health plan? The National Union of Healthcare Workers is the nation's largest union of private sector behavioral healthcare providers and a leader in the fight for mental health parity. This year, NUHW is working with allies to ensure that health plans maintain accurate, up-to-date listings of in-network providers. By eliminating so-called ghost networks, we can ensure that patients get timely access to care by finding mental health providers who are actually available and covered by their plan. Learn more at nuhw.org/networks. The next time you need continuing education units, I highly recommend the Therapist Development Center. When I started this podcast, I reached out to the founder, Amanda Rowan, to see if she was interested in being a sponsor, and she jumped at the chance to support her fellow social worker. TDC has helped more than 100,000 social workers pass their licensing exam, including myself. I love that TDC CE courses are engaging and relevant. Amanda and her experts give us clear and practical clinical skills that we can immediately apply to our work. Some of my favorites are the Edge of Life Suicide Prevention course, where Amanda shares her personal experiences, and their They Did What? Law and Ethics course that looks at real cases where therapists face formal disciplinary actions. They also have a great telehealth course. We are legally required to take continuing education to increase our competence, and most other courses out there don't actually teach the material in a way that we can learn it, but TDC does. You can also check out the links in the show notes. All right. So, while this all sounds great, right? We can have our AA degree, we can have our BSW degree, and we can work with youth in schools and really feel like we're making a difference, right? I have some questions about this whole program, and we're not going to know, right? Because this is brand new. So, you can apply. Go to the website, and if you want updates on it, make sure you sign up for their updates, because I'm not going to be the one to give that to you. So make sure you go to the website, sign up for the updates, and they're going to be launching the training program at colleges this fall, but they're going to have applications open for certified wellness coach scholarships in April of 2024. So you are smart and listening to this podcast, or you've shared this podcast with somebody, get in on these scholarships. Okay. Get in on these scholarships. This is not a well-known program yet. So chances are a lot better that you will be able to qualify for these scholarships. If you need somebody to proofread these and to brainstorm about this scholarship, I don't know what it looks like, but I am here for you. That can count as career coaching as well, right? So make sure that you're staying up to date on these. Check out the scholarships, because in fall of 2024, that's when they're going to start training these certified wellness coaches to then, go out into the community later on, probably in 2025 is what I believe they said. So while this all sounds great, I have some questions and some suspicions, as any good social worker would, right? We got to do a full assessment. I'm wondering, what is our salary going to look like? And the website is extremely vague with this. I appreciate that they address this, but they're extremely vague and saying this just depends on your experience and your location. All right, fine. So that's a question. What's the salary going to look like? Another question is, who are going to be the types of organizations that hire these coaches? Are schools going to be hire them? Are after school programs going to be hiring them? Are clinics, like, children clinics, going to be hiring them? I don't know. Are we only going to be able to work with youth? Or are we going to be able to work with parents or with people coming out of the jail system, right? Who all are we going to be able to be working with? Who's going to hire us? And I hate to be pessimistic, but is this going to be a way that they're going to try to cheapen the industry and not hire those with advanced master's degrees or clinical licensure, right? Because before I said you had to have an advanced licensure in order to work in schools. Are they going to try to replace licensed therapists with wellness coaches? I don't know. I hope not, but I don't know. On the flip side, I'm also wondering, maybe this could help those with master's degrees or higher to be more clinically focused and less focused on, like running groups or providing case management or resources, right? Which there's always going to be some level of that, but I wonder if it's going to be more clinically focused if you have your license. I don't know. We're going to see. I'm also wondering, what skills are they going to be teaching? What kind of skill sets are we going to be expecting of these wellness coaches? And lastly, I did see on the website that there's going to be, what do they call it? Some kind of supervised work experience. And I'm wondering, who is it that's going to be providing this supervised work experience? That wasn't specifically mentioned. It just said that there would be field experience between 400 to 2,000 hours of related experience, depending on which tier you sign up for, which tier you qualify for. I don't know. So this is all kind of up in the air. And by the way, if you are a professional, maybe you do have an advanced degree, you can still qualify for this program. You'd be like the top tier, what they call certified wellness coach. So look at the website, see the breakdown, generally between 400 hours to 2,000 hours related experience. I don't know. I'm just wondering who's going to be doing these supervised field experience. So that are my thoughts around this certified wellness coach program in California. Overall, I think it's fabulous because any way that we can put people in there who care about youth, who are trained to recognize these high-risk symptoms, who are able to just help kids feel seen and encourage them to seek additional help if that's what they need, right? Sometimes that's not what they need. Sometimes they're having a really bad day because they just got dumped, right? We don't necessarily need a therapist when we get dumped, but it sucks and it hurts. And we might not be able to talk to our friends or our family about it right away, right? So there's a lot of ways that this program is going to destigmatize mental health and also lower the barriers for you as a person with an AA degree or with a BSW degree to start getting in there and doing the work, to get in there and really dig in and see what's going on. And I believe that the people who are in these positions have the capability to save lives, to really, really make a difference in the lives of these kiddos who may not have otherwise encountered a mental health professional, encountered a social worker, because they're right there in what we, in the high risk area, right? They haven't actually done anything or needed anything so severe as to need a therapist, but they need that support. They need that extra person there. So make sure if this is a program that you're interested in, tap the link in the bio to learn more, get that scholarship, and let me know. Let me know if this works out for you. I want to hear your success stories. I want to celebrate with you. If this podcast makes a difference for you, I want to know about it. I love it. That is why I'm here. I'm not here to just talk to myself in front of my microphone, right? I'm here to make sure that you are getting the information that you need to advance your career. If you have thought about somebody who may benefit from this program as well, share the knowledge, share this episode. We are not about gatekeeping information around here. So make sure you text this to them right now. So that is all that I have for you this week, my friend. Thank you so, so much. Make sure to get on the email list so that I can send you resources and updates that can help you in your social work career. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Thank you for listening to another episode of Social Workers Rise. If you love this episode, be sure to subscribe and text this episode to a friend. If you want more, there are a few ways we can get to know each other and work together. First, definitely subscribe to the Friday resource email list. The link is in the show notes. And that's where you can learn more about the courses I offer, including Clinical Essentials for the Future Therapist and the Pulse Basics for Medical Social Workers. I'll also be sending out occasional tips and resources and other happenings within the social work industry. And for all your clinical supervision needs, be sure to visit risedirectory.com. This is a national directory of clinical supervisors for social workers, and we also provide free resources that you can use within your own clinical supervision. Lastly, if you have more individualized needs, I do offer coaching, individual consultations, and am available for public speaking engagements for social workers and change makers. Lastly, the boring legal stuff, but very important. The information in this podcast is not meant to be a supplement for therapy, professional advice, or clinical supervision. This content is provided as is solely for informational purposes. It is not legal, health, or safety advice. I am not advising you as a therapist. Organizations should engage their own experts to ensure any adopted measures are compliant with applicable laws and standards in their jurisdictions. The opinions expressed by individuals or organizations are their own and do not reflect the views or opinions of Social Workers Rise or Catherine Moore. References to specific products or organizations do not constitute any endorsement or recommendations by Social Workers Rise.